So what is today?
Today is the anniversary of us going full-time RV lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right?
Full timing for 1 year.
1 year.
In the middle of the day, you turn to me and say, come on, let's get away. Skip this town for a day. Get behind the wheel and drive. We don't care about the time with you by my side. I don't need to hide, I feel alive. You bring me coffee in the morning.
So how's it been?
It's been great. I think that there were some learning experiences along the way, and it took a little time to get used to just being in the smaller space and trying to figure out how everything worked. I think that was one of the biggest things that was hard for me, was just I'd never used a convection oven before, and so some of that was a little bit trial and error, but it was super easy and I figured it out. But I was a little nervous about that, and just learning how to do some things like boondock and not use so much water or electricity. That was new. Right?
Yeah.
What about you, Shane?
Well, kind of got back some of my old maintenance skills. Brought those back to light, just because, you're always messing around with something, fixing something. I absolutely love the whole full-time lifestyle. We've been doing it for a year. We've done boondocking. We've actually been boondocking for the last 46 days straight. This is the longest time we've ever done the boondocking for that long. So 46 days straight. We're still out here in Utah and staying on BLM land, and that's awesome. We've done the boondocking staying at Harvest Host, and we've done, a few times we've done Walmarts and those kind of things. Other little state park campgrounds and that. Let's talk about our camping. Let's talk about those kind of things, what we've learned and what our view is on camping. So I guess the big one we'll start with is the one I think everybody asks questions about, and everybody's always talking about. There's probably a million different videos on it, and that's 1,000 Trails.
Right.
Got the year membership of 1,000 Trails, and it paid for it. It did pay for itself.
Yeah, it did.
But we now are at our renewal cycle, and we've decided we're not going to renew our 1,000 Trails. We are, as much as Michelle is a planner, we're not really big planners when it comes to our campsites. It seems like we're always coming up with change. We find a lot of our campsites like the day of or the day before. So we just kind of, we'll be going along, and I might say to her, hey, why don't you check and see up in, 200 miles from here, what's available. And we usually check, if it's just going to be for a night or two, we usually check Harvest Host first. We'll check on RV Parky. We look to see if there's any free locations to stay at. And then from there, we'll look and see if there's any kind of interesting campgrounds to stay at.
Yeah,
Harvest Host is awesome.
It is awesome.
I would say get Harvest Host and get the $20 extra for the golf courses. We have stayed at more golf, not by choice, we're not even golfers, but it's just that every time we pull it up, it seems like it's always golf courses that are by us. I don't think, which we wanted to, but I don't think we've stayed at a winery yet.
No, we had one booked, and then we ended up having a little
breakdown.
Breakdown issue that we had to deal with, and so we
canceled it.
Yeah, we ended up staying at the truck stop.
Petros gas station. Our Harvest Host was Petros.
Yeah, we would have much rather been at the winery, but anyway, we renewed that for sure, and we've really enjoyed it. So
those are a lot of fun. We stayed at great ones in Florida. We stayed at an alligator farm.
Yeah, it's been a great experience. Met all of the people who own the places have been super nice, and it's been great to be there. So we wanted to do that again this year.
And our go-tos for campgrounds are, we do RV parking is one of my favorites because it's fast and easy, and I can find stuff right around us right now. Then we use the dirt. And
I really like Overlander. That's like one of my favorite ones, especially for here in Utah when we've been doing a lot of the boondocking. That one seems to be a really good one. And then I kind of do a cross-reference between Overlander and then Campendium because since we're still working, we really like to read the reviews about the cell service. So,
yeah, Campendium's our backup spot for our cell service check. We depend on it pretty heavily for like, you know, if we may not search on Campendium looking for a campground, but if we find a place that we like, we immediately go to Campendium and check the cell service reviews.
And hope that it's there.
And it mostly is.
And sometimes the write-ups on Overlander also mention cell service. So anyway, those two have been kind of our more recent favorites just because of what we're doing currently. But like Shane said, the RV parking's also been a good one.
So when we bought our RV, we were very fortunate. The people had taken great care of it. So we have a 2006 Allegra bus, and it was very well maintained. And we're going to take you through and show you some of the things we have, the little tricks that we use and stuff inside. But on the outside, some of the things that we found were necessities to us and upgrades, whereas they had 400-watt solar panels on top already. So we have 400 watts of solar, which we probably do need to put more up there, to be honest with you, especially with the boondocking. They had just the 6-volt batteries. They had the 4 6-volts, and our coffee pot would go off in the morning and trip it. So we immediately swapped out our batteries.
We have to have our coffee.
We have to have our coffee, and Michelle wanted to use the hairdryer. So we put 6 Battleborn 100-watt or 100-amp lithium batteries in. And then we also increased our inverter to a 3,000-watt inverter. And since then, it's been great. Now, we also added a battery monitor so we could watch it, and we also added a auto generator starter because we wanted to be able to set it up so that it could kick it on the generator, especially if it gets hot or if we get low, those kind of things. So those we did add to the RV to make life a little bit easier for us. And if I was to buy another RV tomorrow, I would immediately change it over to lithium and add to it. And like I said, I think probably we're going to have to eventually look at maybe thinking about expanding our solar just because of the way we've been boondocking, and it's been great. We do have to go in about every 10 days and we'll dump and fill up with water, and then that's about where we go. We're not the greatest. We're not super militant about how we're doing everything on the stuff. We try to be a bit. And we also found that we're power hogs. We do use a lot of electricity. We've learned a couple of different things about how we do stuff. Can't use the Instapot when you're on your batteries. But what we will do is sometimes we'll use that as a dual thing. We will turn on our generator to charge our batteries and use the Instapot at the same time and get that meal cooked. So we try to do those kind of things and keeping that squared away.
And just remembering to unplug stuff. You know, that was also like a mistake at the beginning. Like, even though we weren't using things like, you know, the tea kettle or I don't know, like our watch charger, but we still had it plugged in. So those type of things you want to make sure and unplug everything because it still uses some energy. So that was a lesson that we learned.
Do you have any regrets?
No, I don't have any regrets. You know, like I said, it took me a little longer than Shane as far as just getting used to the idea of, you know, getting rid of everything and trying to learn everything new. And in the traveling, like at the beginning, I kind of wanted to stay in places a little bit longer, and we moved pretty quickly. Like once July 1st hit and we were done closing up our office, we kind of made our way all the way down to the Florida Keys and by what was that? The end of
Well, we got
middle
to
of October.
the Florida Keys was the end of October. Yeah, we got to South Carolina where we started the coast run. We got to there at the end of September.
End of September. So anyway, there were some weeks where I just felt like, trying to, because we weren't very good at the, setup and takedown, and I felt like it was a little stressful, but then once we got better at it, it was a lot easier in my opinion. So anyway, we've gotten it down, and we'll show you some tricks also of how we kind of remember some things and make it easier on ourselves.
What's been your favorite part?
My favorite part has just been seeing everything. Like, we've caught up with some old friends that we would have never seen again, probably, like friends from college, even high school friends. So it's been neat to be able to have the time to do that, to check in with people that you normally, when you work your 9-to-5 job and you have, a couple weeks of vacation, I mean, you're just trying to go see family or try to go on a special trip. And so being able to see other people like that is sort of a luxury. So that's something I've really appreciated, along with just seeing all these different beautiful places in the U.S. It's been fun to go to small towns and try their famous whatever food and go on hikes, and I don't know, I've had a great time. What about you, Shane?
I think one of the interesting things is I've really enjoyed the people that I've met and the feeling of making friends. When our kids went off to college and the last one left, we moved up to Bellevue and we lived up there for 6 years. So in the 6 years time that we were up there, I would say we made less friends in that 6-year time than we made in probably the first 2 months of being in the RV. We meet people at campgrounds, we exchange information, we're texting each other, we look at running into them. We actually ran into friends, Scott and Francie at Bryce.
That was fun.
We ran into them up there. We just said, hey, we're going to both be in that area, and so we decided to meet. We boondocked together for a few days up there and went and saw Bryce. That was awesome. Sorry, we have a plane flying over. We've just met a lot of people, and then we've had this channel going now for 2 months, and we put the logo on the side of it, and quite honestly, that's also been something now.
It's been fun. Like, people shouting out, "Happy birthday, Michelle!"
Yeah, we were at the gas station.
They're like, "We want your channel," so that's been fun.
And we have people come up to us now because they see the sticker on the side and they see it and they'll come up and say hi to us, and we love that. I hope all of you guys out there, for your first time, if you see us out there, come say hi. We're really open. The only time that we ask is, and we put a sign on our door. We have a thing in our window that says, in session, please do not knock or disturb, when we are working and when we have our counseling sessions with our clients. That's the only time. If we're sitting there, we don't even mind if someone comes up and knocks and says hi to us and stuff.
We're fine.
We like it. And so that's been probably my favorite part, is just meeting different people. I mean, I have on Facebook now a whole list of people that I probably get contacted by weekly. Just little highs. Wow, that looks really fun. They looked at our photos on our Facebook area or something like that, the Instagram. Right. And so that's probably been my favorite part. I enjoy that part.
Yeah, I agree. That's been a really fun part as well. Meeting new people and how easy it is to meet people.
I don't have a least favorite part. I have zero regrets. I have no least favorite parts. I enjoy just being out. I don't mind driving. It's an awesome machine to drive, and it's comfortable. Living wise, to me, it just feels completely, totally comfortable. We have a residential refrigerator. We have the full-size kitchen. We have, the TV and fireplace and couch. It's like just being at home, And the cool thing about it is we have the biggest and best front and backyards of anybody. And the cool thing is when it's time to re-landscape the front yard, all that means is I got to just start it up and drive a couple hundred miles and I've re-landscaped the front yard. You know, pull into the next spot.
Yeah, you don't miss the yard work, do you?
I don't miss any of the yard work or the responsibility. So, you know, there's always something that we can be doing and having fun. Maintenance wise, it's been great. There's been little things here and there that, you know, I had to learn to fix and just a couple of little things. And it seems like there's always something. And I'll tell you, the Facebook groups, Tiffin has a whole bunch of Facebook groups, and those people on there are phenomenal. I mean, I'll go in and post a question and you just get answers instantly. And sometimes they're funny little smart-ass answers, and sometimes, and most of the time, they're legitimate answers, you know. But, yeah, it's great to do that. What else? What other things?
Well, I just wanted to share this this book. I bought this on Etsy. But anyway, it's been a really cool little book that it has, like, well, let me get to some empty pages here. But it has, like, just a section that talks about where you've stayed.
It was my birthday present, by the way.
Yeah, it was Shane's birthday present. It talks about, like, the campground, like what you liked. Next time we're here, remember to do, you know, whatever. How you rated the site and the date and, you know, things that you saw or whatever. And I've really liked it. Like, we've gotten names and numbers from people, and I like tape them in to the book, or, like, you know, maybe a campground map, just, you know, if for some reason I wanted to keep it. But anyway, I just, you know, it's kind of an old-fashioned thing maybe to have, like, a hard book instead of having it be electronic, but I really have enjoyed it. So it's about time for me to order another one. But I think the name of it's called Transient Books. So anyway, if you're interested, that's where I found it, and I'm sure there's others out there as well, but we've really enjoyed it. And I can't tell you how many times I've gone back and looked for, you know, what were those people's names, and, you know, we want to see if they're doing this or they told us about this, and we reach out. So it's been helpful to have everything in one place.
And then that brings up another question. She said, you know, she needs to order another one. So we have a mail service. Ours is in Washington because we were residents of Washington. And so therefore it was easy for us to domicile there, and there's no state tax and for
our
those
business
reasons.
is still
And our
there.
business is still up there. So we were able to do that. We have our mail service there where we get our mail. Anything that comes in, they text it to us. We look at it. We'll tell them either open and scan it for us and so we can see it, or we'll tell them to shred it, or if it's other stuff, we can tell them when we get to a spot, we'll have them mail it to us. And then we use the post office general delivery.
Yeah.
We found that, you know, we're in Moab, and we had a couple of different things. She needed to get some medicines from a pharmacy that is up in Washington, and we had somebody owed us a check that they were sending us. So we just go to the post office, make sure we just go down to the post office. Like here in Moab, we went down, we got the general thing, and it's just, you know, like Shane Elsdon general delivery Moab and their zip code. They send the mail right there. We've had Amazon deliver packages there. We get any packages or mail that we want sent there. Comes in really quick. Go down there, you pick it up at the post office, and boom, you're done.
Yeah, you have 30 days to pick it up typically. So, you know, it would be something that you could even do, like if you were heading to another area and you were ordering something or having something delivered before you even got there, because you still have that like 30-day window to pick it up. So we found that to be really helpful, along with I think it's called Anytime Mailbox is
the one we had. That's our mail
one up in
service.
Washington, yeah.
Yeah. So those things are just some of the little helpful hints. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you inside, and you know, it's none of the stuff. It's not real big deals, but it's just little tiny things that we found made life easy for us in the move. Some of the things that we were shocked about, and I think Michelle was really shocked about, like not having to clear off counters when we're moving and stuff like that. And so we're going to show you what some of our little tricks are and what we do, and so we'll see you inside.
Yeah, and feel free to, if you have any questions, you know, if you're thinking about doing this full-timing or even part-timing, you have questions for us, yeah, just put them on the link at the bottom and we can answer them.
And don't forget, by the way, hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up and press the bell for future ones. But we are trying to build our channel, and we need
really appreciate
more
it.
subscriptions.
Yeah.
So we'd appreciate hitting that subscribe button. All right, we'll see you inside, guys.
Okay, so here we are in the kitchen. I was just going to do a quick walkthrough of some of the things that, let me turn a few more lights on so we can see a little better. Some things that were really helpful to us. So one of the first things we did is we went and bought a whole bunch of these, I think they're called OXO containers. So you just pop the lid off, but they're really tight storage containers, and it helped me not have like so many bags of everything. So like, you know, we have our flour and sugar
And they're airtight.
granola. Yeah, so it's really nice. It keeps things fresh.
Rodents and bugs.
Oatmeal. Yeah, it helps with the bugs for sure. So anyway, that was one thing. And then also here in our pull-out, you know, I kept kind of some bigger spices here, and then we have our cereals that we put in those containers there. So those have been super helpful for us. The other thing that I just wanted to show you here is just some of the glassware and dishes that we bought. So for wine glasses, I really wanted a stem glass, so we bought these Triton. They're, you know,
Show them on the floor.
yeah, you can do the test. It doesn't break, which is really nice. Especially when I travel, these are almost always like knocked over, so I can't imagine what it would be like if we were traveling. And then these are also the Triton glasses, so we have them in 2 different sizes. I think we got like 4 or so of each. And then I bought the Corel ware just set of 4. So if we have more people than 4, then we're paper plating it. Another thing that you probably see like all of these little things. So these are liners for like your cabinets or drawers or whatever, but I use them to also wrap. Like I've kept a few glass things, but I also like to use them just to keep things from clinky together. So if you see under here with my pots and pans, I keep them from like scratching as we drive in between each thing, so that, you know, I can stack things, but then they don't, like this won't scratch my skillet here. So those have been really helpful. You can see our Instapot in the far back. That's one of our favorite things. We don't get to use it while we boondock. We've discovered it's a huge power hog. So if we're going to use it, we have to run the generator. I learned that the hard way. And then as far as like our cabinets or drawers, excuse me, this is where we went and we bought some of these like plastic containers. Shane, come over here. I don't know if they can see, but just the divider ones help kind of so that it's not like a big mess, and that's been really helpful as far as the drawers. Well, that one doesn't really have any, but then this one, we also had like a few things.
It's a mess anyway, but it's got some drawers.
Yeah, well, one thing I wanted to show is these silicone. I did buy these. So instead of having like a big muffin pan, I bought these, and they're really easy to use. They're pretty thick.
Because we only have a convection oven. We don't have, that's where the oven would be. We have a convection, so she bakes stuff in the convection.
Yeah, and so you can actually take these and put these like right on top of the wire racks and do the muffins, you know, so you can do however many that you want. But it's been a little bit easier to have less pans than all of the big loaf pans and muffin tins. Okay, so one other thing that's been really cool is this roll-up drying rack. So it doesn't take up as much room. It can fold when we travel. It fits right inside the smaller sink, and then I pull it out, and it's really great to just dry the dishes because we don't have a dishwasher, so we we're washing everything by hand.
Well, yes, we do.
Well, yeah,
Me,
we do.
I'm the dishwasher.
Sure. And then when we boondock, we often put this plastic container in our sink, and we'll pour the extra water down our toilet, because oftentimes you don't get enough water down there, and you can get that pyramid that we all hate. Or if it's really clean water, then we will water the plants outside, just depending. But anyway, so there's that. Oh, and one more thing in the refrigerator. I like to drink the sparkling carbonated soda water, and they were all over the place. And so I found this.
Just pull it out. Can you pull it out?
Yeah. It's kind of stuck there. So this is just like a drawer that I have that's inside our refrigerator on one of the shelves, but it holds like all of these drinks that were like all over the place. So we found that to be really helpful. And I think we got that at like a camping store, but I think they have it at probably Target or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I had previously was just my Brita like water filter. So, you know, when we're boondocking and we get water, I often like to filter it again for the drinking water.
We have multiple filters on it. We have a filter hooked to the hose. We have a filtration system hooked that's in the motorhome that's coming into the water, and then we have another filter that's in the refrigerator ice maker. We have a residential refrigerator, as you can see, and it's got the ice maker and all of that. And then on top of that, we filter our Brita. So it goes through like 4 processes. One of the things that we get asked quite a bit is, like, when it comes to moving day, what it is that, what do we have to put away and everything. And so I'm just going to show you something real quick, and you may not believe me, but I'm going to let you know this is how we travel. So when we travel, everything that you see in there stays on the counter. All of this stuff up here.
Well, most of it. A couple of these things.
Yeah, the salt and pepper come off, and
I think this little guy does. But these
those
stay.
all stay. The knife stays.
These don't, and then these stay.
The oil and all of this, and then the coffee pot even stays, except for the glassing. We take the little glass container out; it goes up in the shelf, but the coffee pot itself stays right where it's at. Along with, you will see over by the TV, there's a globe up there. There's a sound bar. Over here, we have a little figurine, my father's military flag. That stuff all stays on the counters. And as I said, you'll see all around that we have stuff out, the paper towel rack, all that stuff stays. So we're going to show you what we found to be some real miracle stuff here. So, we had some items that we used. Let me see. Let me try to get this right. So we have some items that we use. So one of the things that we use is, you want to show them?
Yeah. So
here, I'll let Michelle tell you. Read what it is.
Okay, I gotta get my glasses here. So it's called Quake Hold Gel. So let me just really close there, and it's for securing glass and crystal. And so you just use
pull out a little piece and show them.
It's kind of a gooey, like little sticky stuff here. You can kind of see like a little piece, and then you just put it.
Roll it in a ball.
Yeah, you roll it in a ball, and then you just put it underneath the items, and depending on the size of the item, how much you would use. But it's amazing how this stuff holds, and we've had it on all of these things for a year. And
all these things that you see up here, the knives, all of that stuff, for a year it has been there and has not moved. And I mean, you can see it's sturdy. These things are sturdy. They are not coming off of there right away. Although it's not permanent. I can, with a lot of pressure, pop it off.
Yeah, you can get it off, but it won't just slide off.
So then for pictures...
Yeah, so this was what we finally found that worked. So this is a
well, it worked on certain products.
Scotch double stick tape, and so Shane did most of this, so I'm going to let Shane just talk about it for a second, like what he did with the pictures, because we kind of we started with the command strips, and then we kind of went round and round with a bunch of different things, but I guess our pictures were just a bit heavy, and so and then just with the jiggling of the traveling, a lot of them didn't hold. So this was kind of the combination that he found that really worked the best. So we had this 3M double stick tape, and that's one part of it, and then the Velcro sticky back.
And the Velcro sticky back comes in a roll. That's a 15-foot roll. You can see it on the box there. It's got the little picture of it. That's actually the stuff we use to hang the pictures. And it connects together. It sticks to both sides. The nice thing about that is you can take it off, but that's what we use for the pictures on the wallpaper. That's what we found worked best. The 3M tape was stuff we used like in the shower, hanging the soap dispensers, those kind of things. And on some of the wood stuff, we have a few things that we used. That gel stuff that Michelle showed you, that's holding our sound bar, the globe. We have, like I said, all that stuff over there.
Yeah, all of this.
And I mean, it just does not move. We've never had anything slip or fall. And then for like the coffee pots and the teapots.
Someone recommended these non-stick pads. So you just...
Non-stick?
I mean, stick
pads.
Stick pads, okay, stick pads, whatever.
They don't have any glue or anything.
Non-slide, I think that's
non-slide.
what it is. Yeah, non-slide. So it has sort of a little bit of a texture on one side, and then the sticky on the other side.
And when she says sticky, it's not a sticky that like sticks.
No, like
it's just
you
like
can like lift it up. Here, show them, Shane.
Yeah,
so you can lift and do like this. So this isn't the same as that museum putty, but we've used. I think I've used 2 of them now for the coffee pot, and the only reason was because it started to get kind of just yucky, like sliding it back and forth. But it helps keep it in place, and since we move the coffee pot
Every
forward
night.
and then we move it back when we travel, it's kind of a nice choice for that. So anyway, there's that. And then the last thing that I wanted to show was I don't have a very fancy bottle of it, but I'm just going to show you this Old English lemon oil.
And so just to interrupt for a second.
Okay.
So you saw how she moves the coffee pot, and so you'll notice that. So we live in a 2006 Allegra bus, and our cabinet wood is just phenomenal. I mean, it's in great condition. You can see up close. It's like every part of it is really nice. The wood has been well kept. The lady who we bought this from used this oil and told Michelle about it. Now, remember she just said we take our coffee pot right here and we pull it out. And so we're just going to show you, if you look at the wood, this is the only part of the cabinet where the wood is like that because we pull the coffee pot, and when it makes it, it steams up. So watch Michelle.
Okay, so here's the actual bottle she gave me. So it's lasted, I think it was like maybe half full when she gave it to me, and it did have the wrap on it that had the label, but it's so oily it fell off. So it's Old English lemon oil, and what she told me to do is she gave me this kind of well-oiled rag, and so you just go over the wood, and it really does a nice job of just shining the wood up. So you can kind of see I'll just do it really quickly so I'm not wasting your time, and it looks like an infomercial, but
we are not being paid by Old English
I was
lemon
just
oil.
so amazed at how well this works, particularly for this like steam area. So let me just do a little tiny bit on this one area here.
And that's the only place where we're seeing that.
Take a buffing, like just another rag that's not quite so oily, and then you just kind of go over it to absorb the extra oil. But this really does a great job on keeping your cabinets nice and
just buffed up. You saw it at the beginning and you see it here, and that's just because it's constantly getting the wood steam. I wish our coffee pot
But you see.
cord was about an extra foot longer, but so it will, when the coffee steams up in about another month, Michelle will have to probably do that again, or she'll have me do it again.
Yeah, so anyway, you know, the woman that we bought it from that used it, she suggested that I do it like every 3 months. So just going through and touching everything up. But I usually do this area a little bit more often just because of the steam, and also the one like above I have a propane double burner here, and so sometimes the steam goes up and gets this area up here. So anyway, that was a cool thing and that she told me about. It's not very expensive and works great. Okay, so
all right.
On to the next thing. Let me look at my list and we'll be right back.
All right.
All right, so here we are in our bedroom. I just wanted to go over a couple of tips that we found really helpful as far as like our closet and storage. So the first thing I wanted to show is this rack here came with, when we bought the motorhome, it was already here, which is super helpful for me. When we travel, I use this cord here, and it kind of just goes across the back here and then locks down so that the drawers don't fly open while we travel. But another really neat thing that I found that helps keep everything organized in the drawers so that they don't pop through and everything are these little containers. So believe it or not, we had these were like a storage, hanging storage that we had at our house that has like the pull out drawers, and it was like 2 drawers on each side, and then they just slid in like this. And so I threw away the holder, and then I just kept these and use these, you know, I roll my shirts to save space. And then it's just been really handy to have these in here. Also, rolling your clothes really helps. And then we also, or at least I did, because I have a lot more clothes than Shane, so I like to...
Really? Any surprise with that?
So I like to use the flat hangers here, you know, so that it gives more space. So that's really helpful to get more things in, honestly. So anyway, I just wanted to show you this on this side, and then over here on Shane's side, he's still using these because he has less clothes, but there is this shoe rack that we really like, that we're able to keep some of our shoes and our boots down at the bottom there. Okay, so here we are in the bathroom. I have a couple of things to just show you.
Your bathroom.
In my bathroom, anyway, to show that's been really helpful. So one of the things that I loved, it came with the motorhomes. The other people had installed it, but it's over my mirror area. And she put these LED lights in, and it's amazing, especially when it's dark and rainy or things like that, when you're in a little bit darker weather. It really helps just see. So that was a nice feature. I did buy some of these like little containers from, I think we got them at Target, that you can...
Hey, you want to unplug those bright lights that you did so we it's not going to glare? There we go.
Right.
Shows how well they work.
Yeah, so anyway, they fit in the drawers. These little skinny ones you can get 2 in, just to kind of help organize some of the smaller things like lip gloss, chapstick, toothpaste, dental floss, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty helpful. As far as the shower, our friends at Life Uninterrupted, they told us about this, or actually it was on their site. So this is a shower head that has water and air that pops. It kind of flows through. I don't really know how it works. But it's really great. Like, you have this button here so you can stop and start the water flow. So when you're boondocking particularly, it's been really helpful. And also it does still have enough pressure. I usually have a hard time getting all the soap out of my hair, and so it's a little bit more direct, and it helps me wash my hair faster and be done. So that we're not wasting so much water. We also bought this little shampoo, conditioner, and body wash holder that's been kind of nice, just so we don't have bottles everywhere. So we got that off of Amazon, I believe.
And one of the things Michelle wanted was to have artwork to be able to hang up and bring it from our house and be able to hang it in our motorhome. So you will see we have, she has a picture that's hanging up there. You're going to see, I'll bring you back here. You see we have one above our bed. This was all artwork that we had, framed artwork that she wanted to bring in to the motorhome to, you know, help it to feel more like home. So you can see those, and then in the bathroom, and a couple more pictures she has there. Up here in the front, some of the things that we've had to do, just to kind of remind us. So we have our RV GPS, we have our tire monitoring system there. I have a clock. We work on West Coast time, so I have a digital clock that stays up there. And then you will notice these cute little, you know, we only found the ones that had dinosaurs on them, but these are cute little slap bracelets. We learned this from Phil and Stacy on You, Me, and the RV. What we did is we write, so this one says electric, one says antenna, awnings. And then when we come in and when we park and set up, we just slap them on the dashboard, and this prevents us from forgetting. You want to go ahead and tell on me why?
Yes.
We have to worry about forgetting?
So it was our very first time to do the camping, like after we like sold everything, and we stayed in one campground for a month, and they didn't have a sewer, and so we had to dump at some point. And so we got everything pulled in, and we started driving to the dump area, and this woman was going like this, and we were like, what's going on? Why is she doing that? And so we stopped, and she's like, you have your awning, and it wasn't our big awning, it was just the door awning that we both had walked all the way around and somehow missed it. So anyway, it's really nice that then we saw that little trick that Phil and Stacy shared, and we bought those little snap bracelets, and we haven't forgotten since. So it is really helpful for things that are, we have an antenna that we wind up for our internet, and just some other things that
we'll use that as a lead into our office.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to let Shane talk about our office, just because he's a little bit more well versed on what we ended up doing for our connection. For since we still work, we needed to have a good internet. So go ahead, Shane, and tell them about it.
So I'm going to go over our office. So what we have is we have a PepWave dual router. We keep our router system up here. So I drilled a hole in the ceiling and brought it down into here. This is our dual PepWave up here. You can see the wires came down through that part. And then what I did is I have a 7-way antenna. This is the old antenna, the bat wings that comes out that you just roll up. It goes up an additional 3 feet. I mounted my 7-way antenna on top of that. So when we come into a camp spot like this, I just usually, just to kind of give us a little extra, I will wind up the antenna all the way. That puts the antenna another 3 feet higher, and we've noticed it picks up a little bit better signal at times. It gets it up above everything else that's out there.
Okay, now Shane, you just very nonchalantly said that you just drilled a hole in the roof, and so I just have to tell you right now, that was the scariest day I think we had as far as owning our motorhome.
I knew I was going to drill a hole and it was going to go crack all the way down the motorhome, but it didn't. I did a little pilot hole first. I went out and I bought this like $60 bit that was like this really good one, and could go through anything, and I drilled a nice hole and put a box system up on top to where my wires feed through that I can actually open up and get into if I need to adjust the wires. So our office, back up a little bit and you can see the whole thing. So you'll see our living room here. We have our couch, and our coffee table. So what we do when we go into session is we take, and the first thing we do is we pop up our table.
Yeah, we found this cool coffee table that lifts up. So it also would be kind of nice just for like eating or whatever for people, even if you didn't have an office. But it's really great that it helps elevate our computer.
So this puts us up, so it gives us an elevated laptop that gives us a seat. Now, the first time we bought our RV a year ago, when we bought it, we were actually down having it inspected. We did our first session in that. We said, let's just do it in there. And our client that we had for a while, the first thing they said was, are you guys in an RV or a motorhome? And we're like, yeah, how did you know it? And they said, well, the valances and stuff gave it away. So I thought, okay, I need to do something. So what I did is I ordered this little wall, and we keep it behind our couch. And this comes out. I just open it up.
Well, and actually, it was vertical, and we had a different. You probably saw our other video of how we put in this new couch. So our other couch was lower, so we had more space for it to be vertical. Now Shane like re-engineered it,
so it was like this, and it was 6 wide. And because of our new couch, I took that apart, redid it, and now all we do is I take this. I put it up here over our valance, and like so, and whoops, and snap it in place. If I can get this one metal hook here.
Well,
and there we go.
Well, and we pull the blind down.
And yeah, and typically, so then I will just take
it keeps
for light wise,
yeah,
and coloration wise, I pull the blind down. We are now in session in our office, and this is the wall that our clients always see. So they see this wall behind us, they feel we're always in our office. So this is our working office when we need to work. And then the last thing is Michelle wanted to make sure that we had all the proper tools, so we use this last cabinet where this is where we keep our printer. It's a printer, copier, fax machine, although we don't fax, but scanner. It's an all-in-one. And this is kind of all of our office stuff that we use up in here. It's all tied in to our router system. So our router system that I was telling you up here, it's on all the time. We keep it running all the time. As a matter of fact, you will see we have an Alexa up here on the dash. We don't even use our radio when we're driving down the road. We just work off of Alexa. We just tell her, Alexa, play 70s music or whatever, and she plays. So I think that's all of the stuff that we have for our office in here.
Yep.
So it's been a wonderful first year. Everything has been fun and exciting. Like Michelle said earlier, if you have any questions about other things of how we handle or do things, I know we didn't cover everything, feel free to put them in the comments below. We'll gladly answer any questions that you have.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, thanks for following us the last couple of months. We really appreciate it. And like we said, if you know anybody else that would be interested in our channel, please let them know about it. And thank you for following us. We appreciate it.
And as we said earlier, stop by and say hi. If you see us, don't be afraid to say hi to us. We think of ourselves as friendly. So feel free to, you know, stop by the camp, say hi, and introduce yourself. We'd love it. Look forward to seeing you on the road. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and hit that little bell for notifications.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.